So today we're going to talk through a couple of lists. Your basic and your bougie. That's kind of how it's going to be, just so you know.
These are 10 bottles of bourbon that you need in your collection.
Welcome back to another edition of Bourbon Kingdom. I'm David.
And I'm Zach.
And today we are going to talk about 10 bourbons that we were trying to think through and trying to go like some things that you just need in your collection. And so we kind of approached this in a little bit different way. I went with the kind of non-allocated side, and Zach is going from the allocated side. So we'll do kind of every other and talk through it in some real ways. Some of them will be like specific bottles probably, and then some of them will just be maybe some generalities of this is the kind of bottle that you might want in your collection. So kind of the way it goes.
Yeah, he basically said, why don't you do the allocated so that way everybody can hate you?
Who is the king of the allocated? It is not me. It is Zach.
Here
so it is only
they
fitting.
see your whiskey halls too. They know you do well.
I do well. But somebody does real well.
Somebody tries harder.
Yeah.
Anyways,
it is true.
Anyways, hit that like, subscribe, notifications. Check us out on Patreon, podcast, Facebook, Instagram, all that stuff.
Yeah.
And yes, going back to, and we even, like how we decided on our 5 bottles apiece.
Today's episode is sponsored by Aura, an online security to make you feel warm and cozy every night before you go to bed.
Look, at this point, whenever you get on like the dark web or whatever else, I mean, your social security number, phone number, credit card information is just everywhere. I mean, after all these data breaches that's been going on, we just got something in the mail probably 3 months ago.
Yeah.
That it happened almost a year and a half ago. Like they just figured it out from a huge, huge company. So our information we already know is out there, right? And really, whenever we were looking at trying to protect ourselves, we were looking for a company that not only I felt like protected us, or protected me, but like also protected my company. And the good thing is, I think we found them with Aura.
Yeah, for sure. So not too long ago, I had someone in California trying to buy all kinds of stuff. They were trying to book a wedding and all this stuff off of my credit card. It was crazy what they were doing. Now, fortunately, the credit card company caught it and realized that I wasn't in California, but they don't always do that, right? They don't always catch it. And then you're stuck trying to deal with the credit card company or your bank company, and you're stuck in all this, am I going to get my money back? Am I not going to get my money back? And with Aura, they kind of give you a blanket insurance policy that gives you security up to $5 million, which is an unheard of amount of money. And they monitor everything for you, and they alert you immediately when it seems like something has been breached in your online world, like, because everything that we have is online, so we know that. And so do us a favor, go to our link, aura.com/Bourbon Kingdom, give it a try, and I promise you won't be upset that you tried this, because I think it will give you the security that you long for with how much we are in the digital world these days, and just kind of give you the security that you can make purchases and do dealings online as safely and easily as you want to.
You went a different way. You kind of went like a certain like criteria, and I just kind of was like, I don't want to pick BTAC. I don't want to pick King.
Yeah.
Because like I feel like that's what everybody should want in their collection.
Sure.
But what I went with is like whenever I go and drink at a buddy's house, or whenever I get invited somewhere new, and one of the things I always like to do is like look through people's collections, see what they have.
Yeah.
And so whenever I go do all of that, I'm always curious, like, what unique and fun things do you have? So, like, I went through, like, allocated stuff, and I was like, man, like, not what would impress me, but, like, what I think, man, that's a really good bottle.
Yes.
And so, I even went with, like, different brands. I'm like, man, I know those are going to be really good bottles.
Yes.
So, anyways.
All right, so I'll start since I do have the low end bottles.
Stop.
Just kidding.
You have 5 great bottles over there.
That I do.
I mean, they're all 5 my bottles, so I know they're great.
Yeah, fair enough. We already did the list of terrible bottles that are in this house, so we'll do the other ones. All right, so first off, I went. So as I'm thinking through, as I'm thinking through, when I'm like looking at a collection, I want to see like a low proof, good whiskey, good bourbon, and you can't go wrong with Buffalo Trace. Buffalo Trace is one of those, and it's pretty readily available. I hope it's available in your areas. It is all over the place. There was a point in time where it was in short supply for us. For a while, good 8 to 10 months to a year, it was really in short supply. But now it is sitting on the shelves everywhere. And so for me, I look and I go, what is a good primer bourbon, something that you can drink to kind of wet your whistle for whatever's to come for the rest of the night. And this is one of those. Buffalo Trace is just a good primer. It's a nice, easy 80 proof, like just kind of drinks really easy. And so as I'm thinking through this, something like a Buffalo Trace, whatever it is, there are lots of different things in this category that could fall in there. I chose Buffalo Trace just because to me, it's a good one. It's a good one to start with.
Yeah, I literally don't disagree. That was perfect. First one up for me, and I'm not just necessarily going to pick this brand. I'll have a bunch on the B-roll. But I like to think that a really good, like, allocated part of your collection, you have some dusty, whatever that is. That can be a decanter. That can be, an old Elijah Craig like that's here. Definitely older Wild Turkey, stuff like that. Some of the old Heaven Hill, like, off-brand stuff or whatever. There's a whole bunch of really great dusties out there, but I think whenever you start having a few dusties in your collection, then it starts to elevate that part of your collection. And the crazy thing about dusties, they're obviously a little bit harder to find, but they're not a crazy price point. No,
generally speaking, there obviously are some crazy ones, but
there are. But you would think some of these would be much higher and much more, and they're just not, which is honestly a great thing. Yeah. Very happy with that.
Yeah, for sure. The next one is, I think, like some good. This one happens to be a single barrel. I didn't necessarily need to pick, but like this is a 100 proof bourbon. And again, I think like looking through this, having something that is a good mid-range proof for the people who don't like high proof, barrel proof kind of stuff, but also want something maybe a little bit more than just your low proof, 80 proof stuff. This falls right in this category. And this happens to be like the new stuff from Four Roses, this single barrel, non-barrel proof, just a single barrel 100 proofer. Again, they're going to go through the 10 recipes. This is the OBSF, but you could put any of them in there, whatever tickles your fancy with that. But this becomes that really good from a great distillery, from the quality that's going to be there, and it's just going to have a good solid taste to it. And again, not be too hot for those people who don't like a super high proof bourbon, and you're still getting a great flavor profile for it.
Yeah. Again, great, man, you're crushing it with all this.
I'll do what I can.
He's like a pro over here.
I'm a pro non-allocated bourbon guy.
This is going to be a theme the entire time, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I see your Four Roses, and I will raise with this Four Roses right over here. This is an OESV. This is actually the Father's Day release. This thing is a monster of a barrel. This is 135 point something proof, and this is a tier 6. I'm just going to tell you all, these older, and this is 16 years old, these older Four Roses single barrels are just fantastic. Like, take your normal barrel strength offering of those are great. Take your normal LEs, those are typically great. Some are very special. Most of these individual single barrels that they've done, the Flood Relief, the gift shop opening, this one here, the Father's Day one, these are incredibly special. And all of them are super fantastic. I have loved all of them. Some of these can contend for Whiskey of the Year. But overall, some of the absolute best stuff Four Roses does are these very, very special limited single barrels. And to me, like, these are the things, like when it comes to Four Roses, even more than the LEs, I want.
Yeah. These are the camp out days that Four Roses, I think, strategically puts in there. And part of not only is this great whiskey, but part of the appeal of it is being able to go camp out with a bunch of people and have a good time too. And these bottles never kind of let you down.
No, they're all, they're all really good. I mean, Four Roses does such a good job of, they do online releases for lotteries. They do in person. They do kind of a real massive amount of the LE that goes like all around the country. Like, Four Roses actually is one of the few distilleries I think that does a really good job making it fair. Now, is it perfect? No, there's no perfect system.
Never perfect.
But at the same time, they know they want to do something special at the gift shop from time to time. And whenever they do these, man, they're just
perfect system.
Hitters.
Just ask Zach. Yesterday, 25 was a bad number.
What a chart. I missed the Heaven Hill Heritage Collection 19 year by one person. And a certain group of people, him being one, have not let me forget it.
The first day they released it, I was like number 45, so I missed it by like 25 people. So the fact that he missed it by one, I got there at 5 a.m. I feel really bad for him.
Yeah.
So here you go.
Feel bad at all.
No, I don't. Next on my list, Still Austin just kind of represents a kind of genre all in itself. This craft whiskey. This for me, I could have chosen this Redwood Empire. 13th Colony, like a bunch of different ones. But I always think everybody should have a craft distillery on there because there are some really, really good ones. And when you find the good ones that you really like, and we have like 3 or 4, actually just maybe added a 5th with K-Luke. K-Luke might have just jumped into our one of ours. But just these craft distilleries that do really, really good stuff and aren't necessarily known by a bunch of people. Mm-hmm. And for you to be able to hand this to somebody, again, this Redwood Empire, whatever it is, hand this to somebody and be like, you need to try this. This is really good. And most of the time, these aren't going to break the bank. The Still Austin doesn't. The Redwood Empire doesn't. And so just these kind of things, I think it's important to kind of highlight just this out of the big boy distilleries, get away from them, and have something that represents that in your just everyday non-allocated stuff.
Yeah, agreed. All right, talking about craft distilleries. I'm going to do a little smoke wagon action over here. So this is I want to make sure I'm saying this right. This is the Winter Oak. This is a rare and limited. This was actually one that Dave and I got from Aaron. I love this thing.
I drank mine like gone.
Dude, I told him, so my whole thing was I was planning on opening one, and then he's like, no, I want to open up one. I'll open up mine. I was like, cool. So then when it came to end of the year blinds, I was like, hey man, you bring that bottle. He's like, no. I was like, I said for you to leave some. He's like, oh, you did? Yeah, I drank that in about 30 days.
Yeah, it did not last. It was so good.
It's awesome.
I think it's the best thing that I've had. I know you've probably had some better, but this was the best thing. This is the best thing I've had from Smoke Wagon by far.
It's definitely up there. And now you have to be a fan of oak, to be fair, but it's definitely up there. And I say this, like, yes, we're talking about Winter Oak, and yes, that's really, really great. But really, a bunch of their rare and limiteds, not all of them are special, but most of them are.
Yeah.
And or even like Desert Jewel or a couple of those other ones that they've done. I just think that, Smoke Wagon gets a lot of credit for the uncut, unfiltered stuff. And, Aaron's such a good, great person to follow on social media and stuff. And in a weird way, I think these kind of get forgotten about. And he goes in waves where he releases a bunch of these and doesn't. And, I appreciate it because he's always either thinking if I have a special small kind of batch I can do or single barrels or whatever. So, but overall they're really good.
Yeah.
So no complaints from me.
All right, my next one is this is a Green River full proof, but again, I'm kind of just taking this mindset on mine as just representing the kind of there. I think everybody should have a good full proof on their bar that is readily available. This Green River is a great one. That's the reason why I chose it. Their full proof is really, really good, but you could have chosen from any of the big boys, any of their foolproof stuff, and been able to be happy with that. These, again, when you're looking at a bar, you want to have all of those options there. The foolproof becomes one of those options, something above 120 proof, and then, pick your poison with that, whether you like really ultra high, like in the 130s, or you just like it somewhere in that 120 to 130 range, something that is going to let you know that it's drinking it and kind of stay with you for a little bit. And again, just a really good, solid pick. Whether, again, for me, it was Green River, and I love this one. This one's awesome.
Yeah. All right, my next one is going to be the Ed Williams 23 year. This finished fourth for us this year on our end of the year. Great bottle, great bourbon. Definitely not cheap, but it's not as expensive as what you would think. For a
23 year. Yes.
For a 23 year, what Pappy goes for like mid 3,000s, whatever that is.
But
so
if you get it at retail, it's like 500, so it's more than that.
Yeah, but this is only a couple $100 more on the secondary than retail for Pappy 23.
Yes.
And this is better than Pappy 23.
Yeah.
Without question.
Yeah, not even close.
But whenever I was sitting here thinking of like collection stuff, I was thinking I feel like you need like that real ultra hyper age something out there. So, and I immediately thought of this one. So,
yeah, so good.
It's
solid,
incredible. And I don't think a lot of people even really know it's a thing.
No.
I really don't think people know.
They don't. And then for me, on the low end of things, again, the Russell's 10 year, I think you should have something that's above, 10 yeyears and older, to kind of give people an option of, hey, I want something with a little bit of age that's probably going to have maybe some oak, some more oak influence into it, something that's going to have like some more intricate flavors, even as a non-allocated 10-year bourbon. The taste that you get out of this is vastly different than you get from a 4 or 5 year, just because it's been in the barrel so long, and it becomes a kind of treat in a way to really try a non-allocated higher aged bourbon that gives people something to kind of try again, and runs through all the things. So
yeah. And last for me, and I'll just stick with the whole Russell's theme over here. This is a Russell's 2003. I have a box for this. This was actually, so I was kind of thinking to myself, like unicorn status, like what would be like something obviously incredibly hard to find that would be on your list. And this was like the first like real big unicorn that I found at like retail. Like I was able to sign up for a tasting. I signed my wife up for the tasting too, because I was like, ooh, I'll get 2. Funny story, she was pregnant during that tasting.
Yeah.
So I just got to drink 2, but it was really great because she was the first one to walk up there. I was talking to somebody downstairs, and Bo, who was doing the tasting, was like, ma'am, are you drinking today? And she was like, of course, my wife, like, I think she joked. I was like, of course. And I walk up there, I see Bo, and he's like, I'm like, oh, she's with me. He's like, oh, okay, good. I was a little concerned, like, what am I supposed to do here? Like, she's pregnant. But anyways, was very fortunate. We drank and killed that one, actually, I think up in Michigan is where I took it to the bottle share, and we killed it up there. And so I do plan on opening this. This will probably be one of the bottles that contends for when my kids get married.
Yeah.
But overall, this is something like I really, really wanted it very badly. And I really wanted 1998. That's actually the best version of this, but I think 2003 is the
this one's really good. I've had quite a few pours out of it.
But anyways, yeah, just I kind of wanted something that's very unique and special. That is, really hard to find, and this is the one I want.
All right, so that's kind of our list of non-allocated, allocated, kind of thinking of your bar and looking and building a bar. Like, those are the kind of things that, like, from our standpoint, those become important bottles I think you should have and strive to have on your bar so that it feels kind of complete. And we all have FOMO. We all have things that we just want to buy just because they're available to be bought. And but truthfully, some of it becomes superfluous when it comes to a bar. You don't need that much, but we have a tendency to want that much. But looking at your basic, fundamental bar, I think this is a pretty good list of kind of some stuff that you could look for.
Sure. Yeah, I agree.
All right. Well, till the next time, we'll see you.
We'll see you.